Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Jedi Jack Luther again. It's time for part 2 of my Great Return special. Now in part 1 we saw how big the box was and how massive these figures were. I showed you the Sand Trooper. Now it's time to review his partner in crime, the Dewback. Look at the size of this monster. This thing is just massively huge and weighs quite a bit. There's some weight to this figure. He, oops, Sand Trooper went down. There's not much articulation in the head. It seems to nod a bit. The legs have a little bit of some articulation. The tail, as I mentioned in the last video, was smushed because they couldn't make the box any bigger. But there is a piece in the tail, you can feel it, that allows the tail to be bent. This is all very flexible, rubbery stuff. So I'm taking that after a while. Yeah, he's got to keep this from, so that you can actually mold it and work with it. They put a little air hole there so that the air can escape and it doesn't, you're not working with something like a balloon. I feel after a long enough time, the plastic will begin to settle down and it won't look like he caught his tail in the door. This thing is, man, this thing's huge. As I mentioned earlier, not 100% sure if in scale with the figure. But then again, with something on this scale, plug that in there. There we go. It's something on this scale. With this much plastic, it's hard to get everything 100% in scale. But it is truly remarkable. His nails are really hard plastic. They're actually hurt. They feel like it feels like I have a dog sitting on my lap. It weighs that much. It weighs as much as a, not such a small dog, but not a medium dog. I'm still pulling cables out of everything. Oops. But it does feel like I have a dog on my lap. A very larger, smaller dog, maybe like a dachshund or something like that, although this thing is probably a little bit bigger than that. The color scheme is absolutely beautiful. It's got that nice dark rich green color that you've seen in the movies. And it's got the yellow underbelly, nicely painted. They painted up the nails very nicely, and then it has the details on here. The saddle is not removable. It's actually part of the mold. You can't remove the saddle. The reins, I don't think are removable either. They're kind of stuck into the head, right at the mouth joint, right where the mouth is. There's no mouth joints, right where the, it almost looks like there would be a mouth joint, and that would have been cool if his mouth could have dropped open and there would have been teeth and tongue and all that stuff, like he was yelling out or something. There is a loose enough reins that the Sand Trooper can hold on to get across the desert. But this is one of the more bigger pieces. And I have an Imperial Walker, I have Castle Grayskull, I have Tendril from the Inhumanoids, I bought King Kong from the Skull Island set, I have a Rebel Transport. I mean, I have some really big toys. This one is a contender up with them. This one doesn't have to shy away from a fight with those guys. It's just so big. It just literally, it blows my mind. I can think that they made something this big. Can you imagine if they made like a bantha, like a 12-inch Tusken Raider with the matching bantha? The bantha would be the size of a small elephant. Before I go, I want to show off the box that it actually came in. Like I said, this thing was big, but I want to show off some things. On the top of the box, there's this window with the Star Wars logo. If you can look underneath, it's translucent. It goes right through. You can see right through the thing there. I think that was actually a pretty good idea. They could have just made this one solid piece of cardboard and just had Star Wars on the top, but they wanted it like you could shine a light through it or something. It's pretty nice. I definitely have to keep the box for that thing, and I'll probably be keeping the insert that goes in it. A lot more cables. Just because, look at this. It's Tatooine. You have a bunch of sand troopers, and then you have a shuttle that brought them to the surface. Cables everywhere. But it's a really nice diorama piece, so, you know, if you have to put your figure back in it, you could, and it would show up nicely. And once you get all the cables out, you know, you can display it a little bit better. So we're going to keep that piece with the big box so that, you know, if I have to move or go somewhere or something, and I just don't want to pack this, you know, although it's going to bend the tail, and that's my biggest concern, is I don't want to keep rebending that tail, because I don't want the rubbery plastic to begin to you know, get cracks in it and begin to break, because if it breaks, I have no way to fix it. So I would probably keep the box. It's a really nice big box, but I don't know if I would put it back in the box. That's my only concern. But you're talking about a beautiful 12-inch figure. Get that backpack on there. With his laser pipe, with his pike or whatever you want to call it, riding the top of Dewback. All you need now is matching C-3PO and R2-D2 for him to chase after, and you got it made. So I decided that this would be how what's in the box would come back, by showing off one of the larger things I've ever gotten. And I have a lot of large things. When you get older, you get older, but your toys seem to get bigger, and bigger sometimes is better. So for what's in the box for part 2 and part 1, I'm Jedi Jack Luther. We uncovered a 12-inch Stormtrooper and a 32-inch Dewback that's going to go probably up on my top shelf there above the kitchen counter, because I have no room on a bookshelf for this one right now, and he'll prop up there and he'll look nice up there. Everyone, I want to thank my 22 subscribers. Thanks for hanging in there. Pass the word on. This is a very, you know, good show. You know, anyone can watch it. I like having a show that anyone can watch. I don't want you to have a show that your little kid watching. What you watching, Daddy? Oh, you can't watch this. It's too dirty. And we don't have any of that on there. We want a nice, clean ship around here, so that if you're watching me and your kid watching, you go, hey, look at this guy, man. Look what he got. You got to watch the show and hope you see the stuff that comes in, and you enjoy watching it and watching me review it and everything. There's a lot of pluses with this, only a few minuses. That the tail being crimped up could be a problem if it was left in the box for too long. But other than that, I think, other than a few other points they could have made, this is a win. This is a very good piece. There's hardly any fail to this one. This is a win. So see you later. Say goodbye, Sand Trooper. Bye. See you on the flip side when I get some other parcel in the mail that's made of cardboard, and we find out by opening it up and finding out and discovering what's in the box.